Okay. I'm gonna preface this by saying, one, I have not read the manga. I thought about it. I really did. I really thought about reading the Boku no Hero Academia manga, but I realized that while I am very capable of doing so, I think it was probably best for me to keep it in show format just to get the full experience, if you will, if you would. You dig? So, I have no idea if I'm like missing anything or if I'm not bringing up certain things that happen in the manga. No, this is strictly the show. Strictly the show. That's all I'm doing. So it's all about. So, yeah. I guess I should start this off by saying that I very much enjoyed the show. It is a good show. I endorse it fully. If you have not watched it, I recommend that you do that immediately, as soon as you can. Just go to Funimation. It's all there. So just go ahead and just binge watch. That's what I did. So I've always heard about My Hero Academia. I think that's a fair thing to say. I mean, it's a good show. People have talked about it online. And so I've always been aware of it. I've just never, made the conscious decision to watch it. Mostly just because of me saying, oh, okay, it's kind of like, X-Men, both anime, so I guess I can skip this one out. Wrong. Wrong. I shouldn't have skipped it out for as long as I did. I'm glad I finally hunkered down and watched it, because boy howdy was that a good one. It's a good show. I think I've said that multiple times, but I'm just reiterating, it's a good show. So I'm gonna get into just some things that I liked about it. Give a little recap as I do normally. So listen up. We're probably gonna be here for a while. I want to start off by prefacing, if you haven't seen all 3 seasons, you should probably not watch this because I'm going into deep spoilers. I have also not seen that whole Two Heroes things, I want to say what it's called. That movie, I guess. I've not seen that either. I don't think that's even out yet in the Americas. Should also preface by saying I watched the dubbed version, which I don't think that's gonna have any impact on this, but I refuse to watch any anime in subs, and if you think subs are better, then guess what? That's your opinion and I respect that. I just know that I prefer dubbed anime to subbed. So, I just looked it up. This isn't even out in the Americas. I mean, it's definitely, it's coming. It's coming in March. Next month is when they'll, release it. So I'll probably watch it then. Until then, haven't seen that, and no spoilers for that either. So you're fine if you don't want spoilers for Two Heroes. So, with that said and done, I think I should probably go ahead and just get deep into it. Just a brief recap of all 3 seasons, if you will. Izuku Midoriya, he's a kid, he's a boy, he's a young boy, and he's like, hey, I want to be a hero. That hero stuff looks pretty dope. Because in this world, I want to say 80% of people have a quirk or a superpower, and then 20% doesn't. He finds out that he was part of that 20%. He's kind of shit, and so he's like, man, I guess I can't be a hero. My dream that I had for a while, Gonski, I can't do it. So he's a bit edgy about it. he's pretty sad. And then he meets All Might, who's the god tier superhero in this world. He's a #1 hero. He's mad strong, mad fast. He's a big boy, and he can do what he does. He also doesn't have eyes. It looks like for half the time he's black pupilless eyes, but he does have glowing blue ones when he gets angry. So that's fine. Then All Might's like, hey, eat my hair and you'll get a superpower. And Izuku's like, that's a fat bet, and he does it, and he inherits All Might's quirk. Turns out this quirk is a special quirk that is passed down from generation to generation. All Might was quirkless himself when he was a boy until he met the current version of the holder of the power. It's called One for All is his power, and it's cool. So Izuku gets All Might's quirk, One for All. He goes to the hero school UA to become a hero. He gets put into class 1A after completing the training exam. And it's a fun ride full of wacky characters. Some villains show up, ooh, and it's funny. It's fun bits. It's a good show. So that's kind of my brief recap of just the story overall, without getting too deep into it. Now I'm gonna go through and just rank my favorite seasons. I'm kind of divvying them up into seasons 1 through 3 like a normal person would. So, my number one favorite season of them all is probably season... jeez, it's rough. It's a tie. I'm gonna say season 2 is my number one favorite season. Mostly just because that gave us, like, the tournament arc, and it gave us some Todoroki backstory, it gave us some interesting, ways to see team-ups, it gave us some Class 1B characters that we haven't seen prior. It was some interesting stuff. It also gave us the Stain hero killer arc, which I think was amazingly done. Great stuff there with, Tenya and all that, Stain. Stain? Oh, okay, I'll get to Stain. Boy, will I get to Stain. I'm getting into all of them. I'm getting into this. So, yeah, that's probably, season 2 is probably my favorite one. In second place is season 3, and in third place is season 1. Now, again, I think all of them are great. These are just personal preferences of mine. Season 1, I would say probably ranked last, mostly just because season 3 ranked second. And season 3 ranked second only by, like, a smidgen. Like, I love all of them equally. I don't even know why I decided to rank them, but I did. It's nice. So, with that done, I will now get into ranking. This one, I genuinely believe, is right. Like, I'm ranking the theme songs, like the intros, alright? Not all of them are created equal, and you're about to find out. I'm going to start off by listing my least favorite theme song / intro, and that is the season 3, no, never mind, I'm lying. My least favorite intro is season 2, the first opening, and Peace Sign is the song that they used. And I don't know. It didn't bop. It's not a bop, man. I don't know. I can't listen. It's a good song. It's not bad, but it's not like, it doesn't get me hyped for the episode that I'm about to watch. You know, it's like, yeah, okay, that's cool. They're like, you know, it showed some cool stuff in the intro, but overall, it was kind of lacking in my opinion. So after Peace Sign, I'd give Peace Sign a 4 out of 10, I'd say. Peace Sign is a 4 out of 10 intro. Next up, we have Sora ni Uteba. I'm probably butchering that, but season 2, opening 2. That's a 7 out of 10 for me. It was a lot better. The song itself is really good. I liked it. I can vibe with it. Afterwards, though, I'd say like it showed some nice stuff too. I think that scene with All Might just like running and jumping through the city, I think that was in this one. If it turns out that it was in the Peace Sign, I will feel very foolish, but unless I'm proven otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and say that this is a pretty good intro. 7 out of 10 for Sora ni Uteba. In third place, we have The Day, the season 1 opening. I'd say that was like the first intro I saw, because obviously it was a season 1 intro, and it got me hyped. That's 8 out of 10 right there. It got me hyped for what I was about to watch. I remember I saw the intro, I was like, okay, I think I'm sold on this show. I'm gonna watch it now. I enjoy this show and what it's presenting to me in an intro. The song is also great, like the whole part where it's like building up to like All Might fighting Nomu, they're like colliding fists and everything. It's pretty dope. It slaps. All right, that song slaps. Then in second place we have Make My Story, season 3, opening number 2. That's a 9 out of 10. Make My Story gets that 9 out of 10 spot. I mean, the song itself is good, but what really makes it is like the scenes they show in the intro. Like you see like Izuku with like his bunny hood on, and then Tenya and Bakugo like run past him and everything, right as the beat drops, gets all metal. You see all like the students from the other schools, all of them. It's nice. It's dope-ski. You know what I'm saying? So that's hype. It gets me ready to go. You dig? So, and then of course in first place, 10 out of 10 intro, season 3, opening 1, Odd Future. Can I get a blessed emote in the chat for Odd Future? Like, I've watched it so many times and listened to it so many times. It's just godlike. You see everyone. You see freaking the students training. You see all the pro heroes. You see freaking all the villains, the Vanguard action team for the first time. It's pretty dope. You see All Might getting his power. You see freaking All Might fighting All for One. Like, come on. How could you not like that? It's amazing. And then like the music cues I think aligned up with Odd Future the best out of the others. Like whenever something would happen in the song, it like made sense in the sense of like the intro. You know what I'm trying to say? Like something would happen, like you'd hear it in the music, and then what would be presenting on screen would line up with that. It was a great, like, music cues, I'd say. But 10 out of 10 for Odd Future. I'd say that gets it. So, I think that's nice. I think that's the best one. Odd Future. I listen to that all the time. If you ever see me have headphones in, and you can guess what I'm listening to. It's Odd Future. So, with the intros out of the way, now we're going to get into what I really wanted to talk about, is the characters. My Hero Academia has some of the most interesting character designs I think I've seen. Not ever. It's rough. They have interesting character designs, and that's enough. And I think what really makes them stand out is their quirks. So you could have, my example that I normally go to is with Tenya. You could have easily given him super speed. Easily. And just that's his quirk. But they decided to put engines in his calves, and therefore he gets super speed plus a slew of other cool stuff now, because you decided to put engines in his calves. Like, what? Who does that? You know, it's funny, and it's interesting. It's an interesting concept without flat out giving him super speed. And so stuff like that is what I mainly found interesting about their powers and everything. So, and then that's just like surface level stuff. Then you get into their characters, their motivations, their arcs, what drives them, the whole 9 yards. You really start to be engaged, you know? So, I'm gonna go through the characters, I'm gonna give my opinions on them just a bit, you know? Season 4 has not come out of this yet, so I'm only doing, like, the characters who I want to talk about from seasons 1 through 3. This isn't gonna be all of them, but, like, it'll probably be a good amount of them. This is gonna be a long thing. I can firmly say this is probably gonna be a long thing. So, we're going to start off, obviously, with Izuku Midoriya Deku, of course. Fair warning, by the way, I'm probably going to be butchering a lot of these names, but Izuku Midoriya Deku is his superhero name. You know, his quirk, he has One For All. He can use it, but at the moment, it has damaging effects on his body, which is fine. He's learning to channel that into his new shoot style, which he primarily uses his kicks in order to differentiate himself from All Might. Now, Season 1 Deku, I'm going to refer to him as Deku, he was... I'm trying to find a way to say this without sounding mean, but, like, he's kind of a... He cried a lot, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with a male protagonist crying. I think the point was what kind of got to me. He did it so much. He did it a lot. He cried a lot. And I feel like an asshole, because, like, it's not like he didn't deserve it. He was going through a lot to warrant him crying a lot. The more I speak about it, the more of an asshole I feel like, but that kind of was, his kind of thing in the first couple episodes of Season 1. It was kind of not hard to get through, but it was like, man, poor kid. I felt for him, though. I did. It was genuinely rough for what happened to him. He didn't have a quirk, even though that was his number one dream, overall of just everything, just to have a quirk and to be one of the big boys, but he didn't get that, and that's rough. However, watching him work hard and, like, train made me respect and adore him a lot more than I would have, like, probably some other characters, because I knew he didn't just get All Might's power, he also had to train his body up, like, physically, you know? Like, it wasn't just, here, eat my hair, and now you have godlike powers. You still had to work for it, and he still does have to work with it. Some of the episodes, though, in Deku, are really hard to watch if you don't like watching a 15-year-old boy purposely break his bones to fight back against people trying to kill him. After a while, you kind of get numb to it, which is kind of fucked, but, like, it's like, man, he's breaking fingers, bones, like, arms, legs. This kid's crazy. He's determined. I'll give him that, you know? I'd say his shoot style is very interesting, considering it took him, like, 2.5 seasons to learn that he could probably kick? I don't know, man, but I'd say as a protagonist and as, like, a main character, Izuku is very solid. He has motivations that make you want to root for him, and likable. He's likable, he's a nerd, he is so good at strategizing, and that's another thing I like about him. He doesn't rely, even though he has, like, that god tier power, it's not all he relies on, which is, you know, respectable. I can respect that about him. He doesn't forget he has a good old noggin in his brain, in his head. Same thing. But that's my thoughts on Izuku. He's a good boy, a good protagonist. And Deku is his hero name. I think it fits. I do. So, next up, after Izuku, I think that's all I have to say about him. Yeah. Next up, we have Katsuki Bakugo, or Kachan, as Deku affectionately calls him. Bakugo, he's kind of a fucking bitch, not gonna lie. He's kind of an asshole the first, like, season or two. Like, he pissed me off, genuinely. Like, he's bugging out, like, all the time. He's so angry at everyone and rude to everyone. It's like, dude, chill out. Bakugo, his quirk is that he sweats this like fluid that he can make explode, and so he can basically shoot explosions, like grenade explosions, out of his hands. A pretty powerful quirk. He's a pretty powerful dude. He's just got such a shit attitude that it makes you not want to root for him. Like, but I can understand also that like drive and that fury and that passion comes from wanting to be the best hero. Yeah, his motivations are pure. It's just the way he's going about it, which I think is like kind of makes him not very likable. And I mean, we've seen his home life. He has a loving mom and a loving father. I mean, it's not like he's like angry at them or like has a bad home life. He's just kind of a jerk, really, for a while. I mean, yeah, he's gotten better, don't get me wrong. He's definitely, like, especially after the whole, like, Deku versus Bakugo Part 2 episode. But it's like, man, dude, like, come on, tighten up some. If you want to be a hero, you gotta make sure people like you and make sure you're presentable, you dig? I think it was what, Best Jeanist was trying to tell him. He scares kids and shit, but I'm not here to completely just shit all over Bakugo. He's alright. I can dig him. I like his costume. His costume's pretty good. I don't know. It's crazy. I do like his friendship with Kirishima, though. It's nice. I think, I do think that it's only, I think it's definitely possible that at least one person in the class has to, like, genuinely like him enough to be friends with him and to willingly hang out with him. And I like that Kirishima calls Bakugo out on his shit 9 times out of 10. Like, he's like, dude, you're being rude. What's that all about, man? Come on. So, I like it. So that's Bakugo. He's a cool character. I just wish he'd fix that attitude of his. Next up is All Might. All Might is, of course, the #1 hero at the beginning of the show. He is, in his hero appearance, he's nice and a big buff dude. You know, the one you see with, like, the 2 streaks of hair poking out. Cool boy. When he's not in hero form, he's a scrawny young man, but it's whatever, you know, stuff happens. And I like All Might a lot, actually. Like, he's definitely one of my favorite characters. He's cheesy and goofy, and it's hard not to like him. And he's a great influence on his students, to the point where you're like, okay, I like him being around them, and I like him talking to them. I like the way he's treating them. He's a good teacher. And it's good to see him grow as a teacher, you know? I think watching him interact with Deku a lot makes me respect him a lot more and like him a lot more, because he's just so fatherly, you know? Then not to mention fucking Season 3 when he performed United States of Smash on All For One and just rocked his world. I mean, of course he ended up having to give up his entire power for that, but it was still a beautiful moment. It's a beautiful moment. Even though he lost his power, it all makes sense that eventually that was going to have to happen. And Deku is now definitely needs to rise up and tighten up. It's nice. It's nice. All Might's quirk, of course, was One For All, but now that it's with Deku, you know, not One For All For One. They're One For All For One. Dude, yo! No, I'm joking. I've noticed that before. I promise. Please believe me. I'm not stupid. Okay. So next up, we have Ochako Uraraka, or Uravity, which I think is... no offense, it's not my favorite hero name, but it's like, come on, man, you could have thought about that. She's cute and whatnot. You know, her quirk is that whatever she touches can then levitate, and when she puts her fingertips together, it falls. But if she uses it too much or on herself, you know, she starts to vomit. It's fine, it's cool. She's a bit bland, admittedly, for the first season, which is fine. Like, then we learn, like, her motivation for why she wants to be a hero to support her family, which isn't doing too good monetarily, that's amazing. Like, I'm glad that they didn't try and, like, make her feel bad for it, because that's an admirable thing to do, even if it's not necessarily to help people, she's still doing it for her family, which is admirable. I can respect that, and it makes me like her more, definitely. She's enjoyable as Deku's, friend and love interest. Her crush starts to pick up after, Yuga mentions it to her, so that's nice. I think it's going somewhere. However, I do think, I do think she is the traitor. I do think she is the traitor. No way is she, not, she is definitely the traitor. Principal Nezu was mentioning that there's a traitor, and it's gotta be Uraraka. Come on. It's Uraraka. Don't ask me for evidence. Please don't ask me for evidence. You're just gonna have to take my word on this. It's Uraraka. She's the traitor. Ochako equals traitor. You can quote me on that, please. But yeah. So, she's nice. Like I said, here's the thing I like about Uraraka was her internship arc with Gunhead, and how she learned to, be a boss-ass bitch and start, physically attacking people and using her strength and learning hand-to-hand combat. And I like how it came up multiple times, both with her fight against Toga and with her fight against 13. It was nice. I like it. It's almost like, character development. It's dope-ski. But I like Uraraka, even though I think she's a traitor. Well, I know. She's a traitor. But, we'll see. We'll have to see. We'll see where that goes. We'll see. We'll see where it goes. Alright, whatever. So, she's a good guy. She's a good, not a good, you know what I mean. Next up is Tenya. Oh, Tenya. I love Tenya. He's one of my favorites, man. This dude is hilarious and dope at, the same time. He's a stickler, but, not to the point where you hate him. He's not what's that kid? The kid from Polar Express who, asks if you want to listen to Sicko Mode or Mo Bamba. He's not a snitch, either, half the time. He's cool. As I mentioned before, his quirk just... his quirk made it to where he has engines in his legs, which is just hilarious if you ask me. That's just hilarious in and of itself, but because he has engines in his legs, he has super speed, and he can do some crazy shit with it, so... Tenya he's on some other stuff. He's the class rep, which I think he deserves, but one thing I really liked about him was the hero killer arc, when his brother Ingenium got attacked by the hero killer and was paralyzed. And Tenya had a moment in his time where he wanted revenge, and he kind of, not that he put aside his whole hero thing, but it changed him. He knew he wanted revenge and nothing else. And that's why Stain decided to, go for Tenya, and decided that Tenya needed to die and wasn't worthy of being a hero, because Tenya had that fire for revenge in him. And Tenya admitted that about himself. He reflected on that, and now he's using it to get better, and I can respect that about him. I think he does end up taking Ingenium's name as a superhero name, which is dope, paying homage to his brother, and it's nice. It really is nice. I enjoyed his arc so much, watching him grow. It was great. That was one of the few times the show did make me cry. There was when his brother got paralyzed, and when he was on the floor, paralyzed, because Stain licked his blood or whatever, and he's I'm gonna do this for you, and he got up and everything. It was good. Also, highlight to that one intro where Tenya was in it, and he turned in the reflection of his glasses, you saw Tensei, his brother. So that was nice. That was a nice touch. Good job. Also, his costume is great. That's it. He has a dope costume. Good job, man. That's my take on Tenya. Next up is Shoto Todoroki. Oh. Man, poor guy. He really poor Todoroki. He got boiling water poured on his face when he was a boy by his mom because his dad was a bitch. And I'm glad he kind of lightened up a bit more and is more comfortable with his class, but Todoroki, he's kind of the brooding guy. He's got half of his hair is white, half of it's red. It's like you do. It's rough. It's rough what he went through. I'm not gonna lie, but it's kind of overshadowed by the fact that he's a literal god compared to everyone else. This dude, Todoroki, has two quirks. He can shoot fire out of his left side and ice out of his right side. His ice that he got from his mother, his fire that he got from his father, Endeavor. So, come on. He can control, both of them. That's god tier. Come on. Are you kidding me? You might as well just let him be a hero now. He's strong as Endeavor pretty much already. Jesus, because he's using both. Jesus. Yeah, Todoroki. I didn't like Todoroki a lot at first. I thought because like the way I perceived him was like so much better than the rest that I couldn't even like relate to him. I was like, dude, like he was like especially like in the first season when he was doing his training combat decision with Shoji. He's like, just go outside. I'll make quick work of this. I was like, dude, like screw you. Like you're not even cool. But he came around. They actually gave him development. He helped out a lot with rescuing Bakugo. He helped out in the forest. He's proven himself, and he's a good guy. I like Todoroki. I had a dream recently where I tried to take a Cheeto from him, and he threatened to burn my hand. So never mind. Fuck Todoroki. Moving on. I'm gonna try to pronounce his last name, but no promises. Yuga Aoyama. Yuga Aoyama. Or, as better known as his hero name, Can't Stop Twinkling. I didn't think a lot about Yuga the first couple episodes, obviously, because he was kind of just, like, a gag character, like, or at least that's the way I saw him, was a gag character, like, all he cared about was, like, he's like, oh, look at me, and I'm French, and ooh la la, and, you know, dab, and his quirk, naval laser, he can shoot a laser from his belly button, but if he uses it too much, he gets a tummy ache, you know, poor guy, but I think Yuga really stepped up Season 3, the latter half of Season 3, during the provisional license exam arc, where he and Tenya had that really touching moment. And I think a lot of people can agree that was, like, his defining moment where you're like, okay, he really is about it. And I do. I can agree that I like Yuga a lot more because of that. It helped. I really did like it. Visually, I like that, the way his, like, face is, and, like, how if you, like, any scene he's in, like, most of the scenes he's in, if you just really look for him, you can just see him staring at the camera, like the little weirdo he is, like, it's funny, and I like the idea that he's also, like, not really French. I think that's funny as a gag, but whatever, we'll have to wait and see if it's revealed if he's really French or not. But he's a cool dude. I like his costume, too. I think it fits him as someone like him. I think it fits. So, good guy, Yuga. Next up is Mina Ashida. She is, I want to say her hero name is, I'm trying to think off rip, flip. Pinky? Please be Pinky. It's Pinky. Mina Ashido, Pinky. Yeah, again, not too much of an opinion on her. She's kind of like, more of like one of the regulated side characters who hasn't really gotten a lot of attention yet. Yeah, she's funny. That's fine. She's fun, cool quirk. Her quirk allows her to shoot acid. Don't know why that means she's pink and have horns now. Like, what? Why? Why is that a thing that happened? No idea. She's just pink and has horns because she can shoot acid, I guess. I guess that's part of it. Some of these quirks, man, let me tell you. Also, her hero costume could definitely use some work. I don't know who let her design it, but it's not looking too good. But I do like her enough as a character. She's likable. She's a good person, I guess. I can assume so. Next up is Suyu Asui, or Sue, or Froppy. Cute frog girl's cute, and I love her little ribbits. Man, like, she is, she's pretty good. I like Froppy, especially during the USJ arc, and during the, her little arc with Sirius and, that seal guy. I forget his name. His name's slipping my mind at the moment. But, the one thing I really liked about her is her little scene in the latter half of Season 3. I think it was after they did the dorm room competition, and she asked to meet them outside, and she confessed how, like, scared she was for her friends and everything, and how she was feeling in regards to them, and she was crying, and everyone was cheering her up, and, like, being like, no, we love you, Asui. It was a touching scene. It was another one of those scenes I was like, I really felt. It was really heartwarming. On paper, her quirk is pretty lame. She can literally just do anything a frog can do, but she uses it in such an interesting way that it's actually kind of cool. Like, if I just came up to you and was like, hey, guess what? I can do anything a frog can. You'd be like, okay, so? But then Froppy was doing some wild shit, like, shooting her tongue and, like, keeping things in her stomach. I'm like, yo, hold up. That's actually kind of cool. They made Froppy cool, and I can dig that. For the longest time, I thought Froppy was just actually her name, and I thought, like, that was just her name, but when she was like, okay, that's my hero name, it made a lot more sense. I should probably preface this right now. I came into, like, My Hero Academia thinking I knew what was going on based off of what I saw on, like, Twitter and Tumblr and Instagram and all that stuff. Completely wrong, and I liked that. Next up, we got, oh boy, okay. Mashiro Ojiro? Ojiro. Let's call him Ojiro. Or Tailman, as he's called. This dude's funny, because his quirk is literally just having a tail that he can use like a limb. Like, that's a joke in and of itself. Like, I'm sure he's a cool guy as a person, but like, he's just kind of plain. His hero costume is kind of plain. It's just a gi. Like, he's just whatever. No real importance yet. I mean, yeah, he had that like brief moment in the tournament arc where he's like, "Hey, Midoriya, don't answer that mind control guy's question," and then Deku still did it anyway. But whatever. Tailman, Ojiro, he's alright. You know, he's a cool guy. Nothing too crazy happening with him yet. Next up, we have Denki Kaminari, or Charge Bolt, I believe is his name. Cool guy as well. One thing I like about Kaminari is his outfit and his power. I think they used it in his power, at least, in an interesting way, with the whole like consequence that he can't use it too much or too powerfully, or you risk his short-circuiting his brain and just being like stupid for like a good while. So I do think consequences like that are help ground us and make it to where like he's not completely overpowered. You dig? I like his design a lot, both his hero costume and just his like hair and like facial design and all that stuff. It's a good design. He also has like a dual disc on his hand after he got his upgrade, which I just think is hilarious. Even though it's very cool, like the practicality of it is dope. So cool guy. I also like using him in My Heroes 1 Justice, so kind of biased here. Yeah, funny guy. He's also funny. So I gotta like it. I'm in. I'm all in with Kaminari. Next up, we have Eijiro Kirishima, or Red Riot. Cool guy. I mentioned him a bit when I was talking about Bakugo. This is his time to shine. His quirk allows him to harden his body like rocks. So like he can like make up sharp like rock or whatever. Pretty cool. Cool. He has a dope costume, might I say. Like I think it's probably one of my favorites. And his quirk right off the bat is just dope. I like his relationship with Bakugo is nice because I like that, like I mentioned before, he doesn't hesitate to call Bakugo out on his like shit whenever he's like being actually like an asshole. So it's nice. It's nice to see him like. It's nice to see Bakugo have like not necessarily a right hand, but like someone who will tell him what's what, you know. I loved seeing him during the Rescue Bakugo arc, like, and how like he was like I wasn't able to do anything before, but now I got to tighten up and do something. That was really his time to shine. Plus, his upgraded outfit is pretty top tier. I'll give him that. Pretty good. That's all I have to say about Kirishima. Next up is Koji Koda. Koda, or Anima, is his hero name. Koda is pretty dope. I literally forgot he was part of Class 1A for like, it literally up until he had his whole his exam with Jiro. I forgot he was even there. And then afterwards, he started coming in clutch with his animal. His ability allows him, his quirk allows him to talk to animals and command them. That's awesome. Like, and he's a shy dude though. I like that about him. And he's scared of bugs. I don't know what about his quirk makes his head look like that, but poor guy. Like, man, if he wasn't shy before, whatever. He's probably one of my favorite of the underused characters from Class 1A that haven't really got too much of a time to shine yet, but his quirk is pretty gangster. The only thing I don't like about him is his costume, which the mask is cool, but like the rest isn't very interesting. It doesn't grab me, you know? It's like, it's kind of cool. It has that little logo in the center, but it's like, in the colors, the yellow and red isn't really cool. I mean, it's nitpicky. It's personal preference for me, and you know, what are you gonna do? But Koda's a good dude. He's a nice guy. Next up, we have Rikido Sato. He is the one example of he's a character who has a quirk that I would want. His quirk allows him, the more sugar and sweets he ingests, the stronger he becomes. But it also means that like how long he'll be tired afterwards, you know, once it starts to wear off, you know? You dig? I would love to have that quirk. I eat sweets all the time, so just in having it to where it make me like physically buff and ripped and shredded and I can like put in some work, that's pretty good. I like that. For the longest time though, I didn't even think he had a quirk. Like, I thought he was just a dude in like a luchador outfit who just snuck in. Like, I thought he finagled his way in. But no, he's actually a chill dude. He loves to bake, so he's fine by me. Next up, we have Mezzo Shoji. Boy, or what? I forget, what's his hero name? I can remember. Tentacle. Talk about a shitty quirk, man. Like, no offense, but man, that's gotta suck. Just having 6 arms that can become other body parts. Like, maybe that's cool to some people, but like to me, that just doesn't sound appealing. Like, and I don't know why he wears that like mask he does, but I can only imagine it's because of something that has to do with his mouth and his quirk. Like, poor guy. Like, I don't know. Like, I can't see him building any romantic relationships with the quirk that altering of the physical body. And that's not like to say that he's not a cool guy. He's a chill guy, especially during like the forest arc versus the Vanguard arc. That was nice, but like, boy howdy, I'd hate to have that quirk. Let me tell you. Next up, we have Kyoka Jiro. Boy, everybody back off, everybody. You can leave. She's my waifu. Y'all are not allowed to take her. I don't want to hear it. Her quirk is that I don't know really how to explain it. Like, it's kind of weird. She has long earlobes, which allow her to plug her like retractable jack-shaped earlobes into objects to listen to sounds or whatever, or transmit the sound of her own heartbeat. It's very situational. It is very situational. Don't forget, very, very situational. But she's amazing. She's my favorite female character, so y'all better step off. She needs to get some earmuffs though to protect her ears, because I've counted multiple occasions where her ears have been targeted, and it's worked. Like, so, but it's pretty cool nonetheless. I'll give her that. That's Jiro for you. Next up, we have Hanta Sero. His quirk allows him to shoot tape out of his elbows. And he can like swing around, kind of like Spider-Man can, which is, I will say, it's cool. He has a cool outfit too. It's just, I wish we'd see him a lot more. He's definitely another one of the background characters who we see always like in like the big group shots, but never really a lot on his own. Yeah, he teamed up with Deku and Ochako during the provisional licensing arc when they were in the whole stadium, but it's kind of, I want more from him. That's all we got. His hero name is Cellophane as well. I don't know if I mentioned that. And Jiro's hero name is Earphone Jack. And Sato's name is Sugar Man. I think, right? Is it Sugar Man? Please let it be Sugar Man. Please let it be Sugar Man. It's Sugar Man. Hell yeah. Okay, so moving on to Fumikage Tokiyami. Man, what a rough time he must have had when he was like born, or when he first established his quirk. Can you imagine your head just being a bird head? Like, and on top of that, to have a shadow bird spirit within you. Like, man, rough goings for Tokiyami, but I mean, he's cool. He's a cool guy. I like him as a person. I respect him a lot for his wisdom and, and all that stuff. He was dope in like the tournament arc when he helped out Deku and Ochako and Mei. That was nice of him. I liked him in the forest arc when he like lost control of Dark Shadow and like he was like going into a rage. He definitely has a lot to learn about his quirk. He's weak to light. I think he's probably a character that I do like the design of though. Like, even though having like a bird head must really suck, it's still a really cool design that I like. His hero name, I want to say, is like something in it's like Tsukuyomi, and that's I think that translates to like the god of death or something like that. Something edgy. He's a real edgy boy. He's a real emo kid. I like that about him. That's a nice little detail that I really do like. But yeah, we'll get back into it. Next up we have no, Toru Hagakure, I want to say? Toru Hagakure. Yep. Her quirk is literal invisibility. You cannot see her except for the clothes she's wearing. If she is completely naked, you will not be able to see her at all. So, I have some questions. 1, how was birth for her like? Was she born invisible, or was she born normal, and then just one day she was just gone? Like, either one sounds hilarious to me. Like, Oh boy. But I rest my case. She's cute. I mean, from what we hear about her, from what we hear of her, but nothing really pops off about her because we can't see her, and she hasn't really been given a lot of screen time. Obviously, because you can't even see her. She did this cool thing though, where she like reflected light off of herself to like blind people. It's interesting. So maybe she probably could be useful in a fight if she tried. So. But yeah, and her name's Invisible Girl. How creative. Ooh, sorry, that was mean. But I'm not here to pick on 15-year-olds who picking our superhero name. They're cooler than me already just by having powers, so I can't say shit. Next up, we have my my least favorite character, just in general, just overall, I hate him more than the living world. I hate Minoru Mineta. Like, fuck him. Like, honestly, I hate characters like him because like. He just makes this, whatever scene he's in, just terrible. And, like, I know the whole, like, perverted kid thing is a shtick, but it got old, like, real fast. Like, not a fan. Not a fan at all. Not a fan at all. Like, and it is grape juice. Yeah, you can throw sticky balls out of that. Oh, yeah, real funny. God, I can't stand him at all. I hate him so much. Moving on to Momo. Oh man, I practiced her last name. I practiced so much saying her last name. Yaoyorozu. Momo Yaoyorozu. Whew. She's got an epic quirk. Epic. She's got an epic quirk. She can create anything from her body as long as she knows what it's made out of. And after doing it for a while, she'll get tired out and won't be able to make it. I think it's also tied to like the zygotes or like the atoms in her body or something like that. But which is, like, can make it to where you just have to draw her out and, like, weaken her just a bit. Like, let her use a bunch of stuff and then just go in for the kill. That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. She's got it made. And I like that they sprinkled in her whole arc with her self-doubt compared to Todoroki. It made her more believable and interesting. Also, I like the fact that she's a rich girl. I just find that funny. Also, she needs to, like, cover up some. Like, dude, she is 15. Like, come on, dude. Like, she has her tits out. Full display. Nothing is left to the imagination. Let me tell you, boy, how, man, no, not she's not worth catching a case over. boy, howdy. So that's Class 1A. I'm not done. I want to say I'm not done. That's Class 1A. But it is taught by Eraserhead Shoto Aizawa, who is, so good. So good. Aizawa, top 5 favorite character. This dude is the fucking GOAT. Like, he's the coolest character in this show. Alright, he's just, everything he does is just gangster. Like, that shit when he was getting his bones broken in the USJ arc, but he was still fighting and, like, okay, I'd probably say, his quirk allows him that whenever he's staring at you, like, if he activates his quirk and he's staring at you, he erases your quirk. And it only ends once he blinks. You dig? So, like, he can erase anybody's quirk. And that's why I call him Eraserhead. It's cool. And he's always tired. He's always, like, putting eye droplets inside, like, in a sleeping bag. He's so deadpanned all the time. I love it. Then he was a mummy, and now he has a cool-ass scar. Like, dude, he is, honestly, one of, like, my favorite characters. I can't stress that enough. And I loved his thing with, Deku in, like, the first couple of episodes where he's like, dude, you're breaking your arms time and time again. What good are you if you can't actually fight? If you're broken after you use just one punch, like, you gotta learn, dude, really, you have to. And then when Deku showed him that he could actually, like, do some work, and he did that, I saw him, like, Aizawa's smile is so funny, too, like, his, like, it's good, it's greatly, like, designed, I love his smile. Man, I could talk about Eraserhead all day, like, let me tell you. But that's Aizawa, their homeroom teacher. Love him. Give me more, please. Midnight is another one of the teachers. Her quirk allows her to, I think, like, does it put people to sleep if, like, yeah, I think it puts people to sleep if she releases a gas, from her body. So, like, she reveals her skin. She's, she's the rated R hero. But yeah, it's more effective on men rather than women, too. The drawback is that it requires her skin to be exposed. She's alright. You know, she's cool. A bit, you know, she's obviously a bit fan servicey, but, you know, I ain't see me complaining up top. Then you got, like, 13, the black hole hero, cool. Cementos is cool. Recovery Girl is nice. She's one of the people who knows about All Might's secret about how his quirk works, how it's passed down from person to person. It's really cool. It allows her to heal. Her quirk allows her to heal other people's injuries just by kissing them. It's nice. However, it merely stimulates one's healing using their own stamina. So like, if she tries to heal something that's way too like crazy, it may end up actually just killing them. So. Next up, we have like Present Mike. He's pretty cool. He has like a nice little quirk that amplifies his voice. Vlad King's a cool quirk that allows him to like control blood. It's cool. Let me see. Next up, okay for Class 1B. I'm not gonna go over all of them. I know they probably all have names and like, but the only ones that we care about are like Nieto Monoma or Phantom Thief. This guy's hilarious. Like he is so fucking salty about Class 1A and how top tier they are that every time he sees them, it's on sight. Like, he just is so quick to mock them when he himself isn't even that cool. His like hero costume is cool and his hero name is like Phantom Thief, and that's pretty cool, but like other than that, like dude, he's kind of bogus. I don't know. His quirk allows him to like steal the quirk of any other person he touches for 5 minutes, and he can only use one quirk at a time. It's pretty cool. Next up, there's Itsuka Kendo or Battle Fist, who has the ability to just make her fist really big, which, boy, let me tell you, that's a pretty cool quirk. She's nice. That's all I really know about her. She's nice. She helped. She doesn't hate Class 1A like Nieto does or Monoma does, so it's always good to have an ally in places. Then the best character to come from Class 1B, Tetsu. And he has like a power that allows his skin to turn to steel, similar to Kirishima's, and that's kind of like how they first start off as rivals, but eventually become friends over. And I love that. I love their relationship and their dynamics so much. It's hilarious. Tetsu. And his name is just fun to say. Like, I wouldn't have brought him up if his name wasn't just great. Boy, let me tell you. But, so let's see. Then there's, Mei Hatsume. I love her. She is great. She's in one of my top 5. Like, her quirk allows her to, like, zoom in her vision up to, like, I think 5 kilometers, I think. And she's a support hero, a support company hero. She makes inventions, and they're always crazy, and they're always wacky and blown up. But she's also part of the reason that Kaminari has his dual disc, and that Deku has his like cleats to like kick people with. Yeah, she better not. People don't sleep on Mei. Don't sleep on her. Please don't sleep on her. Then there's Hitoshi Shinso. I can't even explain how his story felt. Like, it was like one episode. It was like 10 minutes out of the entire episode where we got like a flashback for him. And people were like, oh, you have a quirk made for a villain, because his quirk is brainwashing. It allows him to control those who answer his questions. It can only be broken when the victim receives some form of physical contact. And, man, it's crazy, because like UA's entrance exam is so based on physical strength that even though he has such a powerful quirk, since it wasn't physical, he couldn't show off in the entrance exam and get into the hero program, which was his dream. And it's so unfair. But I like him though. I like Hitoshi. I hope he makes it into the hero program at some point or another. Then there's Mirio Togata, who is one of the big 3 at UA. He's a 3rd year, and he was most likely the one who All Might was going to give One for All to. You know? Like, he was going to pass it down to him instead of before meeting Deku. His quirk lets him to, like, phase his body through anything, and I saw him a bit in, like, the, Season 3 finale, and, like, sometimes he can go through the ground, sometimes his clothes falls off, haha. It's crazy. I like him, though. We haven't seen a lot of him yet, but it's obvious he's going to be an important character going into Season 4. I saw, like, the poster, and he's on it in his hero costume. He looks a lot like All Might, too, so I'm interested. I'm interested in Mirio. So, with that all said and done, I'm not done. I'm not gonna talk about some of the other heroes like Endeavor. He is a piece of shit. Like, yeah, cool, you can shoot fire. Look at me, I'm Endeavor. I'm pretty cool now. I'm the #1 hero. He is a asshole. He raised fucking Todoroki talking about some like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make you just like me and you're gonna love me because and your stupid mom who I forced into marrying me is God. It's so he's such a scummy person. He is such a scummy person. He even sent his own wife to a mental hospital after she injured Todoroki out of fear. It's I honestly dislike him so much. And it's like he doesn't even seem like remorseful at all. Like it makes me mad. He's another one of my like top hated people in the show just because he's just so bad at just as a person. Moving on. I love Mount Lady. Mount Lady is just great. Like I'd love her have her quirk. She can like grow. I like her. I like her. She's Then, oh man, the Wild Pussycats are like the best hero team in existence. Like, fuck the Avengers. The Wild Pussycats, like Mandalay, Ragdoll, Pixie Bob, and Tiger. That is dope. I know Pixie Bob. Ragdoll is the one who had her quirk stolen from All for One, which is genuinely upsetting. That shook me to my core. I'm sorry. I miss her so much. But dope. Ragdoll, Mandalay's dope. She's Pixie Bob's dope. Tiger, I didn't know he was a transgender dude. That's dope. That's great representation. It's nice and just there. I like it. He's a good guy. And his quirk allows him to stretch and flatten his body. That's pretty dope. I like that. He's a good guy. Now, Gran Torino. Oh, Gran Torino. He has Jet, which allows him to shoot through the air, through the soles on his feet and everything. He's pretty cool. Might I say, I like that Gran Torino is this old man, but he's kind of insane. He's kind of crazy, but in a good way. It makes me like him more. He helped out Deku, kind of control his power a lot more, and he was one of All Might's former teachers. I'm a big fan of Gran Torino, even though we haven't really seen him a lot, but I hope that he's okay. He's kind of like Yoda in a way. So, moving on, Anasa Yoarashi, or Gale Force, in his quirk Whirlwind, which allowed him to control the wind. I hated him, a lot. He hates Todoroki just because Endeavor fucking, snubbed him when he was a kid. I can get how that would mess somebody up, and All Might's still a piece of shit for doing this, but, I think it's, Yoarashi's responsibility to get over it. Yeah, it sucks that happened to you, but you shouldn't let that define you or how you treat other people just because they're related, But, and he does this whole thing where, he even says it. He still hates Todoroki. Dude, come on, man. Grow up. Anyway, I don't know. I don't hate him, though. He's, whatever. He needs healing. He needs time to heal, and hopefully he'll get that. I also didn't find it funny. I guess it's also just personal preference. I didn't find the whole thing where he would slam his head into the ground and when he bowed, and that was kind of a bit much, but what do I know? I'm just a stupid kid. Whatever. But his quirk is overpowered too. He can control the wind. You kidding me? I wish I had that power. But he's pretty dope, I'd say. Either way. Well, moving on, though, he was kind of one of the only important people. No, I lied. There's also this dude, Shishikura. His quirk Meatball allows him to manipulate raw human flesh and change it into shapes. Awful. I hate him so much. He's disgusting, and he is so demented and twisted and unsettling to look at. I don't like him one bit, alright? and he has like this weird philosophy, kind of like Stain has, where like he only thinks people worthy of being a hero should be a hero. He's a gross guy, and I don't like him. I'm glad that he failed. At least I hope that he failed. I'm glad Bakugo and them beat him up, though. Fuck him. God. I hate him. He just creeps me out. I don't know. Maybe that's not enough, but he's also, like, he thinks he's all up on his high horse and everything. He's like, oh, look at me. I'm a cool guy. Whatever. I hope he burns to death. But now, finally, let's get to the villains. The villains are probably some of the most, like, the most cool people here. Like, they are on some other shit, these villains, boy. Let me tell you. Like, starting off with All For One, like, come on, this dude can take anybody's quirk and use it, and also give it to other people. That's like the dream. That's the dream quirk right there. Are you kidding me? Ah, Jesus. And then he killed All Might's master, like his former all One For All holder. Like, whatever, dude. I can't stand him. I'm glad he got his shit rocked by All Might, though. And he got arrested. I don't know why they have him arrested him. Just give him the death penalty. He deserves to die. He is obviously not a good person, and he's obviously way past reform. Kill him. Please. God. But as a villain, I'd say he's kind of... I don't think he's as good as Shigaraki, mostly because we've spent more time with Shigaraki. All For One just kind of showed up, and then had that big battle with All Might, and then got his shit rocked, so... But speaking of which, moving on to Shigaraki, Tomura Shigaraki has his quirk Decay, which he can gradually disintegrate whatever he grabs with all 5 of his fingers. I like that. He also turns out to be the grandson of All Might's former master and the former holder of One For All, which is a twist I did not see coming. That is, like, crazy. And I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays into, like, the future of the show. He's kind of edgy. He kind of wears these hands all over his face and body. And he also needs some chapstick in the worst way, like, oh man. But I say as a villain and as a thing, I kind of didn't like him when we first started off, because like he was kind of like a brat and like childish in a way, but I'd say he really grew as like, you know, I like seeing the relationship between him and All For One, kind of like the father-son one they have. And now, after that, I'm looking forward to seeing like what he does now. I know he sent Toga into the provisional training exam to like get some information. So, let's see where he goes from now. But, as the main antagonist of the show, I like him. I now like his more dynamic with All Might and Deku now that he's revealed to be the grandson of, Nana Shimura. Moving on to Kurogiri. Don't have a lot to say about him. He can, like, he has the ability to teleport others and himself to, like, different locations. He's pretty good. He's a pimp. He has a pimp suit, and I like it. He's dapper as fuck. Moving on, the Nomu were pretty cool villains. I liked the first one, like the bird-looking one. I say he's probably like the best-looking Nomu, because, I mean, let's face it, he just looks pretty cool. Am I right, fellas? That's pretty much all I have to say about the Nomu, though. But apparently they were people turned into those things because they couldn't handle the raw strength that All For One would give you. They're like genetically engineered humans, which is pretty interesting. Next up we have I'm pretty sure it's Dobby. But I'm gonna say it Dabby, because, you know, Dab, haha. But Dobby is, like, he is really cool looking. I really like his design. I know it's kind of like, you know, like, kind of edgy, like I've been saying, but it's cool. I enjoy it thoroughly. I know he has the ability to, like, shoot this fire. It's, like, dark blue and whatever. I think it's pretty cool. As a person, though, Dobby really hasn't done too much. We just know he prefers to, like, work silently and everything. And he doesn't like to make himself known too much, so here's hoping we get more information on him and learn more about him. Next up is Himiko Toga, who can, like, transform into other people as long as she's drinking their blood or has consumed their blood. She is, she's bisexual, which is really cool. That's awesome representation for us. She's obsessed with, like, blood and everything. She's kind of weird. She's really weird. Kind of like, I'd say almost Melina-like in the sense that, like, you know, like, sultry and seduction, but also crazy kind of sense, you know what I'm saying? Like that classic stereotype that happens a lot. It's Dopeski. Again, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with her and the rest of the villains going forward now. I know she infiltrated or pretended to be Cammy to get into the provisional license exams to, like, spy and stuff, so hopefully it leads somewhere. The villains are kind of taking a back seat lately, though. It's nice, though. Yeah. Next up, we're gonna talk about a villain that I think he was hyped up a lot. For not for no reason, but like I was like, okay, like okay, it's muscular. He was hyped up a lot in the Odd Future intro because, like, you know, him fighting Deku. No, don't get me wrong, that fight was very impressive and very hard to watch and heartbreaking to look at, and it did a lot. But I was like, man, they gave him his own fight in the intro and hyped that up, and I was like, then it was like 2 episodes, I think, which is, I guess it's fine, but it's whatever. But it's not to say he's a cool dude though. His quirk is on some other shit. Like, he gets so strong that they burst from his skin. His skin cannot contain how swole he gets. Like, come on, that's pretty dope. He has a big old scar on his face. He killed a boy's parents and laughs about it. He's very cruel, if that was not apparent. Like, he has no remorse. He kills because it's fun. And characters like that are scary, because it's like, man, they're not even doing this for a reason. They're just like that. And that's how it goes sometimes. Some people are just crazy. Let that sink in, man. But I do like Muscular. I like his the concept of him and everything. I like how they just arrested him. You know, oh, we're gonna arrest Muscular, this giant man. Let's see how that works out in the end for you. Whatever. And then there's Mustard. Don't even get me started on Mustard, bro. Like, that dude's a punk. I'm skipping him. Moonfish? Boy, Moonfish is stupid. He can get the ability to, like, grow and, like, manipulate his teeth to attack and move. He's, like, in a straitjacket. This dude is funny as hell, man. I love me some, Moonfish. Give him his origin, please. Please give me Moonfish origin. If I don't get Moonfish origin, then what's the point of even watching the show anymore? I do think he's pretty funny, though. We didn't get a lot from him. Of course we didn't. He's not important. Okay, moving on. Moving on from Moonfish. There's moving on from Moonfish. We have Twice. Twice was very interesting. For a minute, I thought he was just kind of like the funny, ooh, wacky, split personality villain, but it gets so much deeper than that. Like, he can clone himself, or of anything, really, as long as it's through touch. And he just needs a flawless image of whatever he plans to copy. That is scary. And he, like, cloned himself a bunch before they all went and turned on him, but then they all got crazy and killed each other, and now he's the only one that's left, and he's not even sure half the time that he is the real him. That is fucked.